Do you know who the first woman in Congress was? It was Jeannette Rankin in 1916, and she represented Montana. Some of her views while in Congress were women's suffrage, which was women's right to vote, equal pay for women, children labor laws, and she wanted America not to be in war. Jeannette Rankin's views are still in effect in our lives today. Women now get the right to vote however they choose without worrying about what their husbands think. Even though women still don't get paid the exact as men do, it's a lot closer than it was 50 years ago. Children now have set hours that they can work. Jeannette Rankin proved, with her view on America not being in war, that it is okay when people are opposing you to stand up for what you believe in and not back down. Jeannette Rankin decided to become a social worker because she saw people having to live in slums. This occurred to her when in 1904 she went and visited her brother in Boston and saw so many people having to live in the deplorable slums, so she decided she'd become a certified social worker. After she got certified, she went to Washington and worked in a children's home. Unfortunately, this did not last but only a couple of weeks because it didn't hold her interest anymore. A couple years later, with the help of her brother, she ran for Congress in 1916. Jeannette Rankin wanted America to stay out of war so much that she refused to want to declare war on Japan even after they bombed Pearl Harbor. Jeannette Rankin was the only person in the House of Representatives to vote against both World War I and World War II. She was the only person who voted against World War II, so some of her fellow Congresspeople decided to try persuading her to vote to let it declare war, so it'd be unanimous, but she still refused. On May 15, 1968, Jeannette Rankin led a group of 5,000 women that called themselves the Jeannette Rankin Brigade in a demonstration to Washington, D.C. to demand America's withdrawal from Vietnam. While Jeannette Rankin wasn't successful with getting them to withdraw from Vietnam, she was successful in advancing women's rights. Jeannette Rankin believed that women should get to vote how they want to and as their own person. Between 1909 and 1914, she helped organize campaigns in California, Washington, and Montana for women's suffrage so that they could vote. She was successful in Montana in 1914, so women got to vote in that state. The reason that Jeannette Rankin ran for Congress was to repay the women of Montana who had voted to get suffrage for them so that all of America could have suffrage for women. Once in Congress, she helped write and pass the 19th Amendment, which granted all of American women the right to vote. So today, whether you're male or female, Jeannette Rankin's views have affected you in one way or another. Jeannette Rankin has influenced so many women to believe in themselves, that they can do what they want to, whether it's simply the right to vote, to getting the job that they strive so hard for. When Jeannette Rankin died, she left her house to help mature, unemployed women workers so that they would not have to live on the streets. Instead, they would have a house to live in. At Jeannette Rankin's funeral, historian John Hoff Wilson called her one of the most controversial and unique women in Montana and American history. So Jeannette Rankin left an imprint that will always be in American history.